Hey there, welcome back to moveSKILL. I want to talk this time about hamstrings. Let's stretch and do some strengthening at the end range of your range of motion on hamstrings. First order of business is wondering, tight hamstrings, what does this mean? How much movement do you need in your hamstrings? How much mobility do you need? One test that we use as a baseline, call it a bare minimum. Like if you can't do this, you have a real problem that needs to be worked on fairly urgently, like some extra time needs to be spent often to fix this. But I want to start, Chris here has agreed to help us today. Thanks, Chris. Go ahead and stick your legs out straight, please. And we're just going to watch for a moment as Chris works himself into a position here. He's pushing his knees straight, pushing those legs out straight, lengthening his hamstrings as much as he can, and he's sitting up at a nice 90-degree angle. And he's trying to lean forward. He's going to walk his hands forward a little bit and try to lift the chest, pull your belly button forward, keep those knees straight. And if you're watching carefully, you'll see there's a little bit of flexion here in the spine as he's trying to reach deeper. This is about it. He's pretty much done with his range of motion here. Right now we see a real nice 90-degree angle between his legs and his trunk. Bare minimum. That's a bare minimum. And if you watch carefully while I'm talking to you, you'll see that he's having to work to hold this, and after a while, if I talk long enough, he's going to start to fail. And we'll see his background. Can you go ahead and show that a little bit, Chris? Let's just sit a little more comfortably. Look at this. Now, here's a key point. The spine, I told him to sit more comfortably, and the first thing he did was round his spine. Because the hamstrings are that tight, the body's got to find its slack somewhere, it's going to go to the spine. So this is common. Most folks do this. Many of you won't even be able to sit up to a 90-degree angle without some accommodation. I'll show you how to deal with that in a moment. But this is a real problem as you try to move. Your hamstrings are so tight that your spine is constantly having to take up the slack for that. And this is a really lousy trade-off. So what are we going to do about this? Chris is right on the edge, this 90-degree angle. I want to show you a way we can get him off to a little bit better start, and then we'll put some weight, put some load on this, and make the stretch a little bit better. So Chris, sit on this box, please. So what we've done here is elevate his rear end, and by doing that, his legs get to drop down a little bit, so immediately we get this vertical angle from the trunk, but his hips aren't all the way open. This is tough to pull off when your legs are flat on the floor because now you're leaning backwards, right? But he's able to hold a really nice position, able to keep some nice posture here. And go ahead and lean into this some, please, Chris, and chest up. The goal is you want to be able to keep your spine from the top of your skull down to your tailbone. You'd like to keep that as straight as possible. Go ahead and reach too far, please. Just keep reaching. This is what we want to avoid. Notice how all this extra reaching, check it out. Can you touch your toes? Keep going. This is useless here. For point of view of figuring out what your hamstrings can do, what we're doing here is not related at all. You are just flexing your spine. And that's what we're trying to avoid. So when you get strict about it, chest up, and he's actually pulling his belly button forward to keep this low back, this nice lumbar arch going. And that's about it, right? That's pretty much it. But by getting his tail elevated on this box, he's able to get into a slightly better position here. In order to get some real change, though, he's going to have to load this. We need to put a bit of a load on this. So weighted, one thing you could do is hang on with a strap around the feet, put a strap around your feet and hang on and get a tug-of-war going basically between pulling yourself down with your arms and lifting with the chest. But we think there's a better way here. Go ahead and hold this weight. He's going to hold this weight. He's keeping his elbows in. He's reaching out. He just created a tremendous amount of leverage. Chest up. Yeah, look at that. It's shaking. It's hard. Chest up. Hamstrings are tight, though. Chris is pushing his quads tight. Those hamstrings are under a big, big strain. It's not essential that you hold your weight out completely at arm's length. You can kind of control this load. Reach out as far as you can, but keep your elbows squeezed together here. That helps keep the chest up. Keep this engaged. We want the muscles along your spine engaged. So while I'm talking, he's doing some static hold here. This is good stuff. All right, let me go ahead and take this off. Let me show one more variation quickly. And Honestly, this variation is a little bit advanced for what Chris needs, but I'm going to show you so some of you who might need this can do it. He's going to go ahead and roll this thing around on his shoulders and do the same thing. Chest up, lean into it, push those legs straight. And what we have here, if you look at the center of mass of the bell, it's moving in front of his hips, just barely in this case, but he's able to load up on his shoulders. For the amount of flexibility you see here, it's better for Chris to hold this weight in front and get a little more leverage on those hamstrings. But some of you that can already lean into a little bit of a deeper angle here at the hip, a little bit more closed at this hip angle, will benefit by putting this on your shoulder and just holding that out there. But the idea is put some load on this, keep your legs straight, keep your spine straight, flex at the hips. That's what your hamstrings control, that's what you're trying to do. So spend time in this, a weighted hamstring stretch. Thank you.